Giuseppe Morello, known as the Clutch Hand, or the Old Fox, was born on May 2, 1867, in Corleone, Sicily, a place infamously known for its mafia roots. His early life was marked by economic hardship and social instability, which were common in Sicily during that era. Morello's family, like many others, faced the brunt of economic strife and sought better opportunities across the Atlantic in the burgeoning United States. In 1892, Morello, along with his family, emigrated to the U.S., settling initially in Louisiana before moving to New York City. The Lower East Side of Manhattan, where they finally settled, was a melting pot of Italian immigrants and a hotbed for burgeoning criminal enterprises. It was here that Morello began his foray into the world of organized crime. Rise to power. Upon arriving in New York, Morello quickly established himself as a formidable figure within the Italian-American community. His criminal career began with relatively minor offenses, but he soon graduated to more serious activities. Morello's initial ventures included counterfeiting and petty theft, but his ambitions extended far beyond these small-time operations. By the early 1900s, Morello had formed the 107th Street Mob, an early version of the Morello crime family. This group was one of the first organized Italian-American crime families in New York City. Morello's leadership style was characterized by a mix of ruthlessness and strategic acumen, which helped him consolidate power and build a loyal following. Morello's deformed right hand, which resembled a claw, earned him the moniker the Clutch Hand. Despite this physical deformity, or perhaps because of it, he commanded respect and fear. His ability to navigate the treacherous waters of organized crime with such a visible handicap only added to his mystique and reputation. Criminal activities. Morello's criminal enterprises were diverse and far-reaching. One of his most notorious schemes involved counterfeiting. In the early 1900s, Morello and his associates were implicated in a massive counterfeiting operation that produced high-quality fake currency. This operation was so sophisticated that it attracted the attention of both the Italian Mafia and law enforcement agencies. Counterfeiting was not the only string to Morello's criminal bow. He was also involved in extortion, loan sharking, and protection rackets. Morello's gang imposed a tax on local businesses, forcing them to pay for protection against vandalism, theft, and other crimes, often perpetrated by Morello's own men. Those who refused to pay were met with violence or even death, further solidifying his control over the community. Power struggles and rivalries. The early 20th century was a turbulent time for the Mafia in New York City. Various factions vied for control, leading to bloody conflicts and shifting alliances. Morello found himself in constant competition with other prominent figures in the underworld, such as Ignazio Lupo the Wolf, Sayeta, and the Brooklyn-based Navy Street Gang. One of the most significant power struggles of Morello's career was against the Camorra, a rival Italian criminal organization from Naples. The Morello crime family and the Camorra engaged in a series of violent clashes, known as the Mafia-Camorra War, which lasted from 1915 to 1917. This conflict resulted in numerous deaths on both sides and significantly impacted the structure of organized crime in New York. Despite these challenges, Morello managed to maintain his position of power through a combination of brutality, cunning, and strategic alliances. His ability to navigate these dangerous waters further cemented his reputation as a shrewd and ruthless leader. Arrest and conviction. In 1909, Morello's luck began to run out. Federal authorities had been investigating his counterfeiting operations for years, and they finally gathered enough evidence to arrest him. In 1910, Morello and several of his associates were convicted of counterfeiting and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Morello's incarceration marked a significant turning point in his life and the operations of his crime family. While he was behind bars, leadership of the Morello crime family passed to his half-brother, Nicholas Morello, However, Giuseppe Morello's influence remained strong, and he continued to direct activities from prison through intermediaries. Returned to power, Morello was released from prison in 1920, after serving only 10 years of his sentence. Upon his release, he found a changed landscape in the New York underworld. Prohibition had been enacted in 1920, leading to a surge in illegal activities related to the production and distribution of alcohol. This period, known as the Prohibition era, provided new opportunities for organized crime to flourish. Morello quickly reasserted his authority and adapted to the new environment. He became involved in bootlegging, the illegal production and distribution of alcohol, which proved to be an extremely lucrative business. Despite his advanced age and the physical toll of his time in prison, Morello's reputation and strategic acumen allowed him to regain his position as a key figure in the Mafia, the Castellammarese War. One of the most significant events of Morello's later career was the Castellammarese War, a violent power struggle that took place from 1930 to 1931. The conflict pitted the forces of Joe Masseria, a Morello ally, against those of Salvatore Maranzano, who hailed from Castellammare del Golfo in Sicily. This war for control of the New York Mafia resulted in numerous killings and shifted the balance of power within the organization. Morello initially supported Masseria, but the war took a toll on him and his allies. As the conflict progressed, the violence escalated, and both sides suffered heavy losses. Ultimately, Maranzano emerged victorious, leading to the restructuring of the Mafia in New York. Maranzano declared himself the boss of all bosses and implemented a more centralized structure for organized crime, assassination, and legacy. On August 15, 1930, Giuseppe Morello's life came to a violent end. He was assassinated in his Harlem office, a victim of the ongoing power struggles within the Mafia. He was ordered to be murdered by yet another seeking to be the position of the Mafia boss, namely Lucky Luciano. His murder marked the end of an era for the Morello crime family and the early days of organized crime in New York. The Morello crime family merged into the Luciano family, and then that family into the Genovese crime family about 1957, thus making it the oldest of the 5 families of the Mafia in New York. Morello's legacy is significant in the history of the American Mafia. He was one of the earliest architects of organized crime in the United States, establishing the foundations upon which later crime families would build. His strategic mind, ruthlessness, and ability to adapt to changing circumstances allowed him to survive and thrive in the dangerous world of the Mafia. Morello's influence extended beyond his lifetime, shaping the structure and operations of organized crime for decades to come. His story serves as a testament to the complex and often brutal world of the early Mafia, a world that would continue to evolve and impact American society in myriad ways. Conclusion: Giuseppe Morello's life is a fascinating tale of ambition, cunning, and survival in the treacherous world of organized crime. From his humble beginnings in Sicily to his rise as a powerful Mafia boss in New York, Morello's story is a testament to the resilience and adaptability that defined the early days of the American Mafia. Despite his violent end, Morello's legacy lives on, serving as a reminder of the complex and often ruthless nature of organized crime. Morello's life and career also highlight the broader social and economic context in which the Mafia thrived. The waves of Italian immigration to the United States in the late 19th and early 20th centuries brought with them not only hardworking individuals seeking a better life, but also the seeds of organized crime. The challenges faced by these immigrants, including poverty, discrimination, and limited opportunities, created fertile ground for the growth of criminal enterprises. As an early pioneer of the Mafia in America, Morello's story is intertwined with the larger narrative of the Italian-American experience. His criminal activities and the violent conflicts in which he participated reflect the struggles and ambitions of a community striving to find its place in a new and often hostile environment. While Morello's life was marked by crime and violence, it also offers insights into the dynamics of power, loyalty, and survival within the Mafia. His ability to navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries, his strategic thinking, and his willingness to use violence to achieve his goals made him a formidable figure in the underworld. In the end, Giuseppe Morello's story is a microcosm of the early days of organized crime in America. It is a tale of ambition, ruthlessness, and the pursuit of power, set against the backdrop of a rapidly changing society. As one of the founding figures of the American Mafia, Morello's legacy continues to resonate, offering a glimpse into the dark and often brutal world of organized crime. Giuseppe Morello has an autobiography titled From Sicily to the Streets. It is available on Kindle. You can find Giuseppe Morello's burial site and tombstone at Calvary Cemetery, Woodside, Queens County, New York. Plot, Section 29, East Side, Roadside. This video is brought to you by Shooting the Dice. Please like, subscribe, and comment. You can support the channel further by donating if you wish.